Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced American League replay. We're north of the border here in Toronto. It'll be the Texas Rangers against the Toronto Blue Jays. In the previous game in this series, Charlie Huff shut out the Blue Jays, complete game shutout. So all the Texas bullpen arms are well rested because of that. Looking at the Toronto game for their pitching, John Cerruti went 1 2/3 innings, so I'm going to make him last out of the bullpen. He can pitch, but he will be the last option to go to because I don't want to overuse him. So as we move on to our starting pitchers for today's game, it is Ed Correa of Texas against Jim Clancy for the Blue Jays. Ballpark effects at Exhibition Stadium: singles 1 to 9, home runs 1 to 11. That's both lefties and righties. We're at the second game of the May 3rd block. And that's this game 163. This was on a Sunday afternoon. May 3rd was a Sunday. So game 163. Toronto enters the game 13-9. Texas enters 10-11. Hello, Kenyon, and hello, Larry Harris, sorry. Hello from cold Northeast Ohio. It's getting cold everywhere. I saw the Cleveland game, Larry. Walk-off where they walked it off with a walk. Like the Chicago White Sox guy walked like 3 guys in a row, I think. And just couldn't get it done. So they won it 1-0. Very interesting how that ended up. All right. There you see the starting lineups for both teams. Not anything dramatic. The only thing for Toronto is Willie Upshaw's getting the day off at first base. So Fred McGriff, not only is playing first base, but he's moved up into the 3-hole. Normally he was batting around 7th or 8th, but he's hitting the 3-hole in this game. They're also going to give Lloyd Mosby the day off, so another starter gets off for Toronto. And Rob Ducey will take over in center field. And the DH is going to be Rick Leach. He doesn't get a whole lot of playing time either. So 3 guys there are going to get some playing time that don't normally get playing time. Hello, Hardwood. Good to see you. Hello, Chuck. It's cold everywhere in the Northwest or whatever. It was weird because here on Sunday, during the afternoon, it was in the low 80s. So we had the air conditioning on. And then by Sunday night, we had the heat on because it had gotten cold. So strange weather in this springtime. Changes on a dime, it seems like. All right. So we will get this game going. I do have it up on the Strat computer. I might go ahead and score it as I play it. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it won't hurt the flow too bad. Let's get the final numbers on Clancy on the replay. He is 3-1 with a 3.12 earned run average for Jim Clancy. 35 innings pitched, 32 hits, 12 walks, 30 strikeouts. And we need to get his wild pitch and balk rating, so I can write that in. He's a wild pitch of 10 and a balk of 2. And we'll do the same thing for Correa in the bottom of the inning when he's on the mound. Right now, Jerry Brown, the governor, will lead things off for Texas. Brown on the replay is hitting an even 370 at-bats. He has got 1 homer and 5 runs driven in. So we're underway from Exhibition Stadium. It's a 1-3 for Jerry Brown against the right-hander. He's going to pop it right up to McGriff at first base, and that's going to be an easy 1 out. 1 down for Scott Fletcher, shortstop, and he is hitting 307, no homers, 12 driven in. It's 1-6, and that's a ground ball to short. Tony Fernandez, an easy play. And early on for Clancy, 2 up and 2 down pretty easily. That'll bring up Odeby McDowell, center fielder. He's hitting 220, a homer, and 3 runs driven in. He's only had 41 at-bats. He was injured for a short while. That's a 2-5, and that's a ground ball to second, so Sharperson is there. And the ball never leaves the infield as Texas goes down 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first, and Ed Correa enters this game 2-0. Earned run average of 6.53, however, so he's benefited from some serious run support. 21 innings pitched, 18 hits, 16 walks, and 17 strikeouts. It's the 16 walks in 21 innings that has really hurt Correa to this point. But he's been lucky enough to pitch where they score a lot of runs for him. Let's get his wild pitch and balk ratings. Get those out of the way. His wild pitch rating is a 20, and his balks is 0. So the wild pitch is going to be automatic. Balks are a negative. So leading things off for the Blue Jays is Mr. Tony Fernandez. He is hitting .337, no homers, and 4 driven in. That's 3-6, and that's the leadoff walk to Tony Fernandez. And he's going to be looking to run because Correa is a +7, and Petrali is a +2 for a +9, but of course +5 is as high as you can get. So Fernandez needs a 6 or a 7 to get the good lead. And he obtains that lead with a 7. Fernandez has 3 stolen bases on the season. He's going for number 4. And to get it, he's got an 18, being held as a 16, but then the +5 makes it a 21, where 19 is as high as you can have it. Petrali only has a T rating of 3, so they're going to go ahead and risk the throw, even though he needs a 20 to get it. It's a 1, so it is going to be a possible throw-in error on Petrali. His T rating is a 1 to 3. And he does not throw it away. So Fernandez steals his 4th base of the season. So a walk and a stolen base by Fernandez puts the lead runner in scoring position with no one out for Rance Mullenix. Mullenix on the replay is hitting .368, a homer, and 8 driven in. Do another havoc roll. Fernandez not being held at second. 3-5, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks to start the game for Correa. And again, I mentioned that earlier when he started. He had 16 walks in 21 innings. Now he's got 18 walks in 21 innings. So the control problem is definitely hurting Mr. Correa. All right, here's McGriff. He's hitting .217, 3 homers, 6 driven in. Correa has to find the strike zone. That's a 5-12, and that's a fly ball right field X. That's Sierra. He's a 2E12. 2 and an 8, he'll get to it. E12 is your problem. E12 for a right fielder. He's got to avoid 3, 4, 13, 14, 16, and 18. And that's a 6, so he does avoid it. And let's see, the first result was an 8 on a range of 2, which is an F2, so nobody can move up, I don't believe. Let me see. I think on an F2, though, I believe the runner on first can try to advance, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he can. Runner on second may tag up, try to advance. So safe chances is running speed plus outfielder's arm. So the outfielder arm, Sierra is a -2. Fernandez is a 15. That'd be a 1 to 13 to get him to third base with 1 out. Don't know if I like that. Those chances are not 1 to 13. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the only way he's out is on a 20. His safe chance is 1 to 13. 14 or through 19, he holds. 20, he's out. So they're going to go. And he's going to hold at second base. So he can't quite make it there. He started to go and then decided to pump the brakes. And that was it. So he thought about it. And when he saw the throw coming in, he said, I better get back. And that's exactly what he did. So the first out of the inning is McGriff flies to right, but not deep enough to move up Fernandez. And that'll send up George Bell. George Bell, left fielder, hitting .250, 7 homers, and 23 driven in. Correa looking for an inning-ending double play. 5-8, and that's yet another walk. Third walk of the inning is loaded the bases. Correa making his own mess with all these walks. Defense can't do a thing about it. So here's Barfield with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Barfield on the replay, 6 homers, 21 runs driven in, hitting .273. Correa has to find the strike zone. 5-2. That's a strikeout and a big one. Huge strikeout for Correa. And now with 2 outs, he can get out of it if he gets Ernie Whitt. It is a clutch situation. And for Ernie Whitt in the clutch, he will gain a hit on 2-11 and on 2-2. So he's a little bit better in the situations. Whitt on the replay is hitting 250, 2 homers, 8 driven in. .111, and that's a ground ball second base A that's going to end the inning. And Correa gets out of it. Walking the bases loaded, but he gets out of it. So at the end of 1 complete, from Toronto, we got no score. Although Toronto has to feel like they left something on the table there. Could come back to bite them. So Clancy back out will face Pete Incaviglia to start things off. Incaviglia on the replay, a 143 average, 2 homers and 6 driven in and 77 at bats. Also has 36 strikeouts and 77 at bats, so that's not very good either. So we'll see what Incaviglia can do going forward. Here against Clancy. 1-4, and that's a split chance. 1-2 is a single, anything else he lines to short. That is a 2. Boy, it doesn't matter what color D20 I use. It finds the 1s and the 2s. I don't get it, but it just happens that way. Single for Incaviglia. It's uncanny. So Incaviglia will reach, and he will be held. Clancy's got a +1 hold rating, and Whitt's a 0 for a +1 overall. So he could try to get the lead if he needs a 6. If he gets it, it'd be a 17 plus the 1 for an 18. 2 being held to 16. So it'd be a 1-16. So they're going to try it. He needs a 6, though. It's the only way he gets the lead. Cannot do it with a 7, so he will hold. Here's Pete O'Brien. O'Brien hitting .333, 5 homers, 16 driven in. So 6-3, and that's a ground ball first base C. That will move the runner, as the only play is McGriff flipping to Clancy for the out at first base. Going to second is Incaviglia. Kind of a pseudo-sacrifice bunt. But O'Brien is charged in at bat. That's the only difference. All right, here's Ruben Sierra, right fielder. Sierra hitting .300 even. 9 homers and 19 driven in. Incaviglia obviously not being held at second. That's a 310, and that's a ballpark blast on a 310. It goes 1-11. That's a 4. It is long, and it's gone. Ruben Sierra becomes the first player in the league with double-digit home runs. It's home run number 10. RBIs 20 and 21. Look at it again. 310 versus the righty is a ballpark diamond shot. 1-11. That's a 4. Ruben Sierra, home run number 10. He takes the lead in home runs in the league. Home run number 10 for Ruben Sierra in the 22nd game of the season. Incaviglia will score in front of him, and it's 2-0 Texas as they get the blast off of Clancy, and it's 2-0 Rangers. And that'll bring up Darryl Porter. He is the designated hitter in this game, hitting .375 in just 16 at-bats, but he's 3 homers and 5 driven in. 1-6, and that is a 1-16 single. 17-20 lines out. That's a 15. It'll be a base hit. So hot hitting continues for Mr. Porter. He will not be held. And that will take us to Gino Petralli, the catcher. Switch hitting catcher. Petralli hitting .318 in 22 at-bats. No homers, 5 driven in. Clancy trying to regroup after the home run. 210, and that's a ground ball first base A. That's a good way to regroup. It'll be a 3-6-3 double play to end the inning, but 2-run homer from Ruben Sierra, his 10th of the season, gives Texas a 2-0 lead. Fans at Exhibition Stadium not happy. They were shut out last game, and they're not doing so well in this game against Texas. So they're wondering what the heck is going on. Well, Rick Leach is going to come up and lead off for Toronto. Leach in limited duty, in 11 at-bats, he's hitting 182. He's 1 for 11. No homers or runs driven in. That's a 6-7 lefty, and that's a 1-4 single. That's a 1. Boy, that thing's coming up again, a 1 or 2. It's a base hit for Leach. Leach will single. He will not be held. Here's Rob Ducey, center fielder, giving Mosby the game off. Correa, 4-7. Ground ball, second base, X. Second baseman is Brown. He's a 3-E16. 3-20 could be a double play. Looking at an E16. We'll look at E16. Whoops. E16 for second baseman. We know it's a G1. E16, he's got to avoid 3 and then 15 through 18, which he does. So it's going to be a 4-6-3 double play. Quickly erases the base runner as Ducey hits into the twin killing. 2 quick outs. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. Philip is for the Rangers, and they are obliging so far, up 2-0 on the Sierra 2-run homer. His 10th of the season in the top half of the inning. Here's Sharperson. Sharperson is hitting 164. No homers, 5 driven in. Boy, he's been a disaster for Toronto in second base. They will eventually bring up a young player named Nelson Liriano, but right now they're stuck with Sharperson. 2-7, and he's going to ground it to third. That's going to end the inning. Buechele takes care of it. Nothing doing for the Jays. They've now gone 11 consecutive innings without scoring. And at the end of 2, it is 2-0 Texas. Leading off for the Rangers will be Buechele, number 9 hitter. And Buechele on the replay hitting 247, 3 homers and 12 driven in. 4-9 against Clancy, and that's trouble. 1-3 is a triple, 4-20 is a single. That'll be a base hit for Buechele. Buechele will not be held. Here's Jerry Brown. He popped up from the Griff his first time up. 4-4, switch hitter Bain left. Ground ball third base X. That could be trouble. Mullins is a 4-E31. 4-5. Well, no, he's going to give up a hit. 4-5 is an SI1, so it will be a single. Just 1 star. And we'll check for an error. He is an E31 at third base. He has to avoid 10, 11, 15, 14, and 18. That's an 8. He does avoid it, but he doesn't get to the ball. So it's going to be a single, 1 star, puts runners at first and second with nobody out. Scott Fletcher is up, and he's going to bunt. He's an A bunter. Toronto suspects it. They will bring the corners in. He is now a B bunter. Nothing on the havoc. The bunt with a 1. Hello, Mr. Chris. Good to see you. A 1 on the white die tells me that the bunt went back to the pitcher Clancy. He is a B bunter. So as a B bunter, we're looking right here. He just needs basically a 9 or less to make it a good bunt. And it's a 6, so it'll be defense. So the defense has the option of trying to get the force on the lead runner or taking the easy out at first base. Now, the lead runner is Buechele. He's a 12. Clancy's defense, Clancy is a 2. So Clancy is a 2, and he's a 12. So to calculate this, the running speed minus 4 plus the fielder's rating. So the running speed of Buechele is a 12, minus 4 is an 8, plus the 2 is a 10. 10 is safe range, and so they basically got a 50-50 shot at the lead runner if they want to take it. 50-50 shot, or they can take the easy out and try to get out the rest of the inning. Of course, if they don't make the play, you got bases loaded and nobody out. So, boy, they're tempted to go for the lead runner, but the way this D20's been rolling, I don't like their chances. So we're going to call it a sacrifice hit, 1-4. Clancy double clutch, thought about it, but decided to go for the sure thing. Take the bird in the hand. And that's going to move the runners into scoring position. Now the infield will come in against Odeby McDowell. McDowell grounded to second his first chance. That's a 2-9, and that is a ground ball second base A with the infield in. The runners will hold. So Clancy now just one out away from getting out of this. He's got to face Incaviglia. He did single his first time up. That is a 5-9, and that is a fly to center, so Clancy gets out of it. So it ended up being a smart play, taking the shore out, and then he got out of it the rest of the way. So nothing doing for the Rangers. We go to the bottom of the third, still 2-0 here from Exhibition Stadium. Due up for the Blue Jays, it'll be back to the top of the order, and Tony Fernandez walked his first time up. 5-12, that's a fly ball right field X. Looking at Sierra again, he's a 2E12. 2 and a 6, he'll get to it. E12. And that is a 9. Probably going to be okay. So let's see here. 2 and a 6, let's make it official. 2 and a 6 is an F2. And he is an E12, and that's a 9. There is no 9, so it's good play for Ruben Sierra. Hello, Marlon. Yep, you don't see managing like that on that other channel. Here's one away. And here's Rance Mullenix. 2-3, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. Easy play for Pete O'Brien. 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up McGriff. McGriff flew to right his first chance. 3-8, and that's a strikeout. So second strikeout for Correa. And the Blue Jays now have gone 12 consecutive innings without scoring. Huff shut them out in the previous game, and they've got O's on the first 3 innings of this game. So we go to the fourth. Still 2-0 Rangers. And Pete O'Brien is your batter. Pete O'Brien is the batter. 4-8. He's a lefty, and that's trouble. 1-15 is a double. That'll be a leadoff double for Pete O'Brien. Clancy in trouble again. O'Brien will not be held. Here's Ruben Sierra. He hit his 10th home run his first time up for both Texas runs. Bit of 1-3, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9. However, that fails. It's ground ball third base B. That's going to freeze the runner. Sorry. Well, something in my throat. I don't know what it is. But that will freeze the runner. And now I hear Tabby crying. Hold on. Tabby? Tabby, come on. Come here. Come here, Tabby. Tabby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come here, Tabby. Tabby, come here. All right, sorry, a feline delay temporarily. She just wanted to be petted. That's what that is. Now she's ready to go back out. All right. She just wanted to be petted. That's all it was. Okay, now she's gone. We're back now. We're back. Tabby has food downstairs, so she is not looking for food. At least hope not up here, because there is no food up here. It's all downstairs. Okay. So Daryl Porter will step up to the plate after Sierra grounds out. Clancy, nothing doing there. Porter singled his first time up, but was erased on a double play. It's 2-8, and he's going to strike out. And for Clancy, that is his first strikeout. Not a bad time to get one either. Here's Petrali hitting to a double play his first time up. He's in a clutch situation. And in the clutch, he loses a hit on 1-8. That's his only clutch result against right-handers. 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance on Clancy, but his balk rating's a 2. He will balk on a 1 or a 2. No balk. So Petrali will swing away. 5-11 switch hitter is a fly ball right field X. That is Barfield. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. It's just a matter of an error. He is an E3. E3, ooh, 6-17. That could be trouble, even for an E3. E3, but he escapes that. 18 and 15 were the errors, not 17. So Barfield makes the play to end the inning. And they strand the lead runner O'Brien at second base. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. It is still 2-0. And Correa back out will be facing George Bell, Jesse Barfield, and Ernie Witt. Numbers 4, 5, and 6 in the Toronto lineup. 6-6, and that's yet another walk. That is the 4th walk issued by Correa. Walk 3 in the first inning. No walks the previous 2 innings, but he starts out this inning with a walk. Now George Bell, not really a threat to run, so he will not be held. Here's Barfield. Barfield struck out his first time up. 2-10, and that's a ballpark black. I'm sorry, 2-10's a fly to center. I was looking at 1-10. 2-10's a fly to center. That's 1 away. 1 down. And that brings up Ernie Witt. 110 for Witt. Now that's a ballpark blast. 1-11. That's a 1. Of course it's going to be a 1. Ernie Witt goes deep, and the shutout streak is ended as Toronto finally gets on the board. A 2-run home run from Ernie Witt. Look at it again on the replay. 110 is a ballpark blast. 1-11, that's a 1. So for Ernie Witt, that's home run number 3. RBIs 9 and 10. And we are tied at 2 apiece. So the leadoff walk comes back to bite Correa as well. There's Rick Leach. 2-9 for Leach. He grounds it to first. O'Brien will wave off Correa and take it himself. And that'll be 2 away. And that will send up Rob Ducey. 4-7, left-hander. Ground ball second base X. That's Jerry Brown. He's a 3. 3 and a 6. He should get to that. I'll double check it, but he should get to it. And that's a 9. That's probably going to be okay too. But we'll double check both. 3 and a 6. 3 and a 6 is a G3. Nobody's on base to be held, so no problems there. That's a 9. He's an E16. There is no 9. So good play for the governor, Jerry Brown, but Toronto ties the game on the 2-run homer from Ernie Witt. And at the end of 4 complete, it is all tied at 2 apiece. Marlon, I've ordered a lot of dice from a place called Dice Emporium. If you just Google Dice Emporium, it should come up. That's where I get my different colored D20s and my dice with the numbers on them and whatnot. DiceEmporium.com is the place I go to get mine. I'm sure there's other places, but that's the only one I know off the top of my head. All right, here's Bouchel. And I'm going to have to raise this up because I'm running out of room here, it looks like, on my score sheet here. So let's get this raised up. It's going to be a little bit further away from the cards, but I don't want to lose the ends of the cards either. So let's see about getting that straightened out. Okay, so here we go. Top of the 5th, Steve Bouchel. Now that that's moved, I can move these over a little more. Give me some room right here. Bouchel singled his first time up. That's a 5-12, and that's a ground ball back to Clancy, 1 away. So Clancy makes quick work of Bouchel. 1 down. Back to the top of the order for Jerry Brown. He's 1 for 2. That's a 4-2. Switch hitter batting left. That's a split chance. 1 to 18 is a single. That's a 20, though. So it's going to be a line out to second. So bad break there for Brown. 2 quick outs for Scott Fletcher. He had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. He's 0 for 1. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Clancy. Strikeout number 2 for Clancy. That's going to end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jim Clancy. Keeps the score tied at 2 apiece. Correa this is his point of weakness right here. Correa, number 5. This will be his point of weakness inning. He's going to face Sharperson to lead things off. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-6, and that's a ground ball to short. Fletcher is there, 1 away. 1 down, and that's going to flip the order back over to Tony Fernandez. He is 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. 5-11, switch hitter. Ground ball back to the pitcher Correa. He's an E38. He's a 3 E38. 3 and a 3 is probably going to get by for a hit. Double check it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a hit, a 3 and a 3. For a pitcher, it is going to be a hit. E38, he has to avoid, boy, it's a lot of numbers to avoid right here. He's got to avoid all those numbers, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, and 18. So very well could be an error right here. That's an 11, that will be an error. So it's going to be a single plus an error. Single plus an error puts Fernandez at second base. So Correa tried to rush the throw to get Hernandez at first base, and he throws it away. Puts Fernandez at second with 1 out, and Rance Mullenix, your batter. That is a 6-2 left-handed fly ball right field X. We're back to Sierra again, 2E12. 2 and 11, he'll get to it, E12. E12 and an 11 should be okay. E12 and an 11 is okay. The 2 and the 11 is an F2. So again, it's a situation where Fernandez could try to tag up, but there are already 2 outs and he's in scoring position, so you don't want to make the 3rd out at third base. So he will just hold up right there. Actually, you can try it. The only way he's out is on a 20. So he's going to hold. 20 is the only way he could have been out, so that's why they risked it. All right, so he thought about it and thought better of it. His Second time in a row, Sierra has held him at second base. All right, here's McGriff. Clutch situation for McGriff. In the clutch, he is, except for one result on a 3-2, everything else he's neutral, but he loses a hit on 3-2. That's a 6-5, and that'll be a walk. Yet another walk for Correa. And that is walk number 5 for Correa. And that'll bring up George Bell in the clutch situation. George Bell in the clutch. Check his clutch. He is, looks like to me, he is exactly even. There's no clutch results. At least not against right-handers. I don't see him against lefties either. So he looks like he's completely neutral. 6-6, and that's another walk. That is walk number 6 issued by Correa. And now he is fatigued. Now, what do you do if you're Bobby Valentine? Do you trust Correa to get the out on Jesse Barfield, or do you go to the bullpen? Texas bullpen. Bullpen for Texas. They have one lefty, which is the wild thing, Mitch Williams. Everybody else are right-handed. But, boy, tough call. Dale Mahorsic is loosening the bullpen for the Rangers. I think Valentine's going to give Correa one more chance. One more chance here against Mr. Barfield. He's gotten Barfield twice, 0 for 2. 1-9, and he doesn't get him this time, though. 2 is a single, or 4 rather, is a single 2 stars, and that's going to be it for Mr. Correa. So the run ends up being earned because that error didn't really affect anything. Would have scored without the error. Going to third is Bell, but we can't close the book because those 2 runners are on base. But Barfield gives Toronto a 4-2 lead. And Bobby Valentine making that slow walk to the mound. They'd like to have another lefty reliever if they could, but they don't. So Ernie Witt's going to be in there to face Dale Mahorsic. We'll get the numbers on Mahorsic. Correa. Those walks finally caught up with him. So now we'll go to the pen for Mahorsic. The numbers on Mahorsic. He is 2-1 with no saves, an ERA of 5.65, 14 innings pitched, 18 hits, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Barfield will not be held. And here's Ernie Witt. He hit a 2-run homer his last time up. Oh, that's a stacked dice. How many times do you see that? That doesn't happen very often. Stacked dice. Look at that. We got to re-roll that. That's not good. That's not legal. So we're going to re-roll that. That's a 3-7 for Witt, and he singles to right field. Another run is in. That's charged to Correa. Barfield will hold at second base. It is now 5-2 Toronto. And that brings up DH Rick Leach. Runs at first and second. 2 outs. Trying to get that final out. 6-9. Mahorsic, fly ball to left. That'll do it to end the inning. But 3 runs come in for Toronto. And they will take a 5-2 lead after 5 innings of play. And we can close the book on Mr. Correa. Get his final numbers. And again, it were the walks that really got Correa into trouble. Correa will go 4 2/3. Give up 4 hits. 5 runs, all earned. Walked 6, struck out 2. And so Mahorsic gives up the inherited run, but then gets the final out to close the inning. That brings up Jim Clancy. Texas has their work cut out for him. Now down 5-2. Hello, Robert. Clancy 1-7 to McDowell. Struck him out. Third strikeout for Clancy. Not much of a strikeout pitcher, though. And here's Incavilla, speaking of strikeouts. 6-6, and he will strike out again. Strikeout number 4 for Clancy. It's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. His fatigue inning starts next inning. So here's O'Brien. 3-11, and that's a ballpark single check, 1-9, but that fails. So he will line it to second. Ends the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 5-2 Blue Jays. Mahorsic back out for the bottom of the 6th. He only faced 2 batters, so obviously he's not tired yet. And here's Rob Ducey. 5-3 for the lefty. It's a fly ball right field X. Boy, a lot of X chances here for Sierra. He's been up to the task every time to this point. 2-13, he'll get to it. E12. E12 and a 7, I believe, is okay. Yes, it is. So good play for Mr. Sierra. One positive for Texas is Sierra hit his league-leading 10th home run in the second inning. That originally gave him a 2-0 lead, but it's been downhill since. Here's Sharperson. 4-6. 1-9 is a single. That's a 1. That double die comes up low again, and Sharperson gets a base hit. 1-out single. He will not be held. And here's Tony Fernandez. Nothing on the Havoc. 4-8, switch hitter batting left. That's a single, 1 star. So only a 1 base advancement for Sharperson. He will only get second base. First and second, 1 out. And we flip it over to Rance Mullenix. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Orsic looking for that double play. 4-7. Won't get it. That's a single, 2 stars. So that will score Sharperson. Make it a 6-2 ball game. Fernandez will take third. 3 consecutive hits by the Blue Jays. And that brings up Fred McGriff. Runners at the corners. Nobody being held. 1 out. They're looking for the double play. 6-5, and that is a fly ball center field B. It's a sacrifice fly. Tony Fernandez will trot home as McGriff hit it deep to center field. Deep enough to score the run. And it's now 7-2. And that'll bring up George Bell. Bullpen activity for Texas stirring once again. That's a 6-7, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. But 2 more runs come across, and that's going to be it for Mahorsic. He will be done. And they will be bringing in Mike Loynd. Mike Tenderloin will be coming in to pitch the rest of the game for Texas to try to mop up. And we'll get the final numbers now on Mahorsic. Let's get Mahorsic's numbers. Mahorsic ends up going in an inning and a third, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs, both earned. No walks and a strikeout. So Loynd will take over in the bottom of the 7th. Right now we go to the top of the 7th, and this is the fatigue inning for Jim Clancy. 7 is his fatigue number. He'll be starting out facing Ruben Sierra, followed by Porter and Petrali. (3-8) for Sierra. 1-14 is a double. That's a 2. So Ruben Sierra adds a double to his collection to go with the home run. And we'll keep an eye on Clancy. Again, this is his fatigue inning. So we'll see what they decide to do with this. Musselman, the lefty, is loosening in the Toronto bullpen just in case. Not quite Tom Hinkie time yet. So here's Darryl Porter. (2-9) for Porter, and he's going to strike him out. Clancy, that's strikeout number 5. 1 away for Petrali. We are in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting obviously now is allowed. Let's see about Petrali. He's a .302 hitter. We're not going to pinch hit for him. He's also a switch hitter. Clancy to Petrali. 4-9, left-handed. 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a double. That'll be a Petrali RBI double. That will score the run to make it 7-3. RBI double for Petrali. 7-3 is our score. And here's Buechele. .237 hitter. They might be looking to pinch hit for Buechele and put somebody else at third base. Question is, who do they have on the bench that's any good? They're going to go with Curtis Wilkerson, a switch hitter. He's going to stay in the game and play third base. Not nearly as good defensively, but they need offense. So Kurt Wilkerson. Going to pinch hit here in the 7th. Stay in the game and play third base in the bottom half of the 7th. Kurt Wilkerson. We'll get the numbers on Wilkerson on the replay. Wilkerson on the replay is hitting .200. He's 2 for 10. Limited duty. But in real world, he was a .268 hitter. So that's why he's in there. .39, and that's a ground ball to first. That will get the runner to third with 2 outs. Not what he wanted, though. As McGriff steps on the bag himself. Here's Jerry Brown, clutch situation. Brown 1 for 3. It's 5-5, and that is another strikeout for Clancy. Strikeout number 6 to end the inning and limit Texas to just the 1 run. So we're going to go to the 7th inning stretch with the score. Toronto 7 and Texas 3. New third baseman is Kurt Wilkerson. And the new pitcher is Mike Loynd. Right-hander Mike Loynd. On the replay, Loynd is 2-1 with a 7.13 earned run average. 18 innings pitched, 22 hits, 6 walks, 15 strikeouts. So Mike Loynd will be on. He'll be facing Barfield, Witt, and Leach. .611 against Loynd is a ballpark single, 1-9. That's a 1. So there you go. That D20 coming up real low again. Doesn't matter what color I use, they come up low. So he's aboard with a leadoff single, and here's Ernie Witt. Barfield will not be held. 2-8 for Witt, and that's trouble. 1 to 10's a double. That's a 15. It'll be a single 2 stars. And that will put runners at the corners with nobody out. For Rick Leach. Infield's going to have to come in. They have no choice. Infield is in. 2-5, and that's a ground ball third base B. That means they're going to get Barfield at the plate. 5-2 as Wilkerson, the new third baseman, throws him out. Witt will take second on the fielder's choice. Leach will reach on the fielder's choice. So it is a fielder's choice ground out, 5-2. So there's one away, and that brings up Rob Ducey. (3-8) for Ducey. Ground ball second base B. There's a plus sign, but nope, the infield's not in this case. Just ground ball second B for another fielder's choice, 4-6. Going to third is Witt. Reaching safely is Ducey, but now there are 2 outs. And it's up to Sharperson again. If the Jays were behind, I'd pinch hit for Sharperson, but since they're ahead, I'll leave them in there. 6-2, and that's a split chance. 1-14 is a single. That's a 19, so it's a line out to short. Sharperson can't catch a break, and the inning is over. We played 7 here in Toronto. Score still 7-3. Next game of the replay, game 164, will be from the Homer Dome in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It'll be the Twins taking on the Yankees. Mark Portugal against Dennis Rasmussen, the pitching matchup in that one. Top of the 8th, Jays with a 7-3 lead. Clancy on the fringe of fatigue, but they're going to keep him in there. It's Fletcher. 2-7, and that is a 1-17 single. Base hit for Fletcher, so the bullpen again. Musselman once again is loosening. McDowell is your batter. And they're going to make the move. Clancy is going to come out. He's going to go 7+. But they are going to make the move for the left-hander, Jeff Musselman. Musselman will be the new pitcher for Toronto. And we'll get his numbers on the replay as he's going to come in to face the lefty Odeby McDowell. Musselman is 1-0 with 1 save, but he does have a 6.48 earned run average, 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 walks, and 9 strikeouts. And he'll be facing McDowell. Fletcher is at first, and he will be held, but down 7-3. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Musselman's a 0 hold, and Witt's a 0. So if Fletcher got the lead, it would be a 1-13. Very risky. Plus, he gets picked off on an 8, so they're just going to hold him there, down by 4 runs. And McDowell, he's 0 for 3. 6-10 to the lefty is a fly ball center field X. That is Ducey. He's a 3-5. 3-19. He'll get to it, obviously. E5. E5 and an 8 should be all right. E5 and an 8 is no problem. No problem at all. There's one away. Hello, Thomas and Alex. Didn't see you guys come in. 7-3. Toronto leads Texas here in the top of the 8th. Jeff Musselman just came into the game to relieve Clancy and got McDowell the first batter he faces. Now here's Incaviglia. That's a 3-7 against the lefty, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else is a single. So that'll be a single 2 stars. That'll move Fletcher to third base. Runners at the corners. 1 out for another lefty, Pete O'Brien. Nobody being held. Infield looking for the double play. They're back for the double play. 5-4, lefty. Pops him up to first base. Big out there to get with no runner advancement as McGriff makes the catch. 2 down. And now here's Sierra. He does lead the league in home runs with 10. He hit his 10th in the second inning. He also has a double. 2 runs scored. That was all against Clancy batting left-handed. See what he does batting right-handed against Muslim. Clutch situation. It's a 6-10 right-handed. Switcher batting right, 6-10. Fly ball center field X. So once again, Ducey is onto the microscope. He's a 3-19. He'll get to it. E5. E5 and a 9 is good all day long. And that's going to do it. They're going to leave 2 on. Sierra hits it pretty hard, but not hard enough. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 7-3. And we'll get the total numbers on Clancy now as we can close the book on Clancy and see what he does on his replay for this game. His final stats. Clancy looking to go 4-1 on the replay. 7 innings pitched, 9 hits, 3 runs they were earned. More importantly, no walks and 6 strikeouts. Big difference there. Correa walks 6, he walks none. 7-3 game, bottom of the 8th. Coming up for the Blue Jays, it'll be the top of the order. Fernandez, Mullenix, and McGriff against Mike Tenderloin. That's a 2-7, and that's a ground ball to second. Jerry Brown makes the play. 1 away, and that will bring up Rance Mullenix. 3-12, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-11, but that's a 16. So a deep drive to right, but Sierra on the track may have room and make the catch. 2 away. That'll bring up the crime dog, Fred McGriff. 4-6 to the lefty. It's a base hit, so a 2-out single for McGriff. Keeps the inning going. Hit number 11 for the Blue Jays. Rangers have 10. And here comes George Bell. Runner at first, not being held. 2 outs for George Bell. 1 chance of a wild pitch on Loind. We'll check his wild pitch rating. Loind's wild pitch rating is a 12. 1-12, we got a wild pitch. And we do. So Loind wild pitches him. He wild pitches McGriff to second base. And now George Bell with a runner in scoring position. Makes it a clutch situation. It's a 1-6, and 1-13 is a home run. That's a 10. It's long, and I don't believe it's playable. It's out of here. So the wild pitch was irrelevant, although it may have distracted Loind enough to put up a bonehead pitch right to George Bell, and he blasted it. Taco Supreme. George Taco Bell. For Bell, that is home run number 8, RBIs 24 and 25, and it puts a coup de grace on this game as is now a 9-3 game. And Bobby Valentine just shakes his head. Here's Barfield. 4-8, and that's a walk. And that'll bring up Ernie Witt. Witt is 3 for 4, homer and 2 singles. One 4, and he's going to walk. So back-to-back walks off of Loind. They really don't want to go to the bullpen again. Rather have Loin. All he needs to do is get one more out. Going to face Rick Leach. That's a 5-2, and that's a fly to center, so he does get the out to end the inning. But 2 more runs come in, and the Blue Jays now have a commanding 9-3 lead as we go to the 9th. And they're going to let Musselman finish things out. No reason not to. Musselman will finish things out against, well, the schedule here is Porter, Petralli, and Boucher, but we will see pinch hitters for the Rangers, as Porter will be called back. And coming to the hit will be Tom Paciorek. Wimpy, Tom Paciorek, will be your pinch hitter here in the 9th for the DH Porter. Get the numbers on Paciorek. On the replay, Paciorek is hitting .240, a homer and 4 runs driven in. That's a 1-6, and that's a 1-17 home run. That's a 17. It's gone. What do you say, folks? You don't see managing like that on that other channel, I can tell you that. Pinch hit home run. Look at it again, 1-6. So 1-17 home run. That's a 17. It's gone. Paciorek, his 2nd home run of the season. RBI number 5. Makes it a 9-4 game. Now Petralli will be called back, as he will be pinch hit for as well. Actually, or do they? He's a .302 hitter. Boy, but he hits much better against lefties. Against righties. So we're going to pull him, and they're going to bring in. Bob Brower. So Bob Brower will pinch hit for Petralli. If it somehow miraculously goes to a bottom of the 9th, they do have Don Slott that can catch. So Brower, get his numbers. On the replay, Brower hitting .264, a homer and 8 runs driven in. 1-7, and that's a walk. And now Tom Hinkie has started to loosen in the Toronto bullpen as things start to get a little more interesting. Kurt Wilkerson, your batter, number 9 hitter. It's a 5-8 switch hitter, batting right-handed. 5-8 ground ball shortstop X. That is Fernandez. He's a 1. 1 and a 4 may not be a double play, though. 1 and a 4 may not be a double play. We'll see. But then again, as a 1, it very well could be. 1 and a 4. Nope, it's a G2. He wasn't holding the runner because the second baseman was doing that. So it's going to be a fielder's choice is the best thing that Fernandez can do. He's an E17. He has to avoid 15, 16, and 17. If he does, it'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice. That's a 15. He did not avoid it. That's an error on Fernandez. He was looking for the double play, got too quick, and bobbles it for an E6. E6 on Fernandez. Everybody's safe. That's one error on both teams now. So Fernandez got a little premature trying to get the double play and didn't get anybody. And now we're back to the top of the order, and Jerry Brown. 9-4 game. This might be the last batter Musselman faces. 6'5", switch hitter, batting right-handed. That's a fly ball to right C, so that will be a flyout with no advancement. 1 down for Scott Fletcher. They're going to let Musselman keep going. 6-3 is a ground ball shortstop X. And again, we're back to Fernandez. He gets a reprieve. 1 and a 9 should be a double play chance that might end the ball game. 1 and a 9 is a G1. But again, he has to avoid 15, 16, 17, and 18. And he does this time. It'll be a double play, 6-4-3, to end the ball game. The Blue Jays hang on and win despite the home run by Pachoric in the 9th. They hang on to win it. Musselman's going to go 2 innings, and we'll get the final numbers on him and for the whole ball game here in just a second as we go to the computer. So we go to our box score. Blue Jays improved to 14 and 9. Texas falls to 10 and 12. So Clancy, the winner, he's now 4 and 1. Correa takes his first loss. He drops to 2 and 1. Loyne went 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. So 8 walks by Texas pitching. For Musselman, he goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits and a run, which was the home run from Pachoric, 1 walk and no strikeouts. So final line score for Toronto, 9 runs, 12 hits, and 1 error. For Texas, 4 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. Toronto left on 10, Texas left on 7. Player of the game? Boy, you can give it to a lot of guys. Ernie Witt, 3 for 4 with 3 runs batted in. I'm kind of leaning towards Ernie Witt. He hit his 3rd home run of the season that tied the game originally in the 4th inning, and then didn't hurt himself the rest of the game as far as the pitching goes or hitting goes. So I'm giving my player of the game to Mr. Ernie Witt. Ernie Witt gets the player of the game. 9-4 victory. Texas drops to 10 and 12. Toronto now 14 and 9. And let's see what that does with the Yankees, because they are chasing the Yankees. Toronto with that victory proves to 14 and 9. They're now 3 games back of the Yankees and Milwaukee. They're both tied at 17 and 6. Toronto now 14 and 9. With the loss, Texas drops to 10 and 12, and that drops them to 5.5 games behind Oakland. It drops them a half game behind Kansas City, depending on what Kansas City does with Cleveland. So there you have it from Toronto. Home runs in the game. Sierra his 10th, Pachoric his 2nd, Witt his 3rd, and George Bell his 8th. So thank you all for spending part of your Tuesday evening with me. Like I said, next game will be from the Metrodome in Minnesota. It'll be the Yankees and the Twins. Probably tomorrow night, I imagine. Yankees and Twins tomorrow night. Rasmussen for the Yankees against Mark Portugal for the Twins. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced 1987 style. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.